What can we expect from the numbers today? How much of this is going to be a China story for Apple?
Yeah, all eyes are on Apple at the moment, trying to figure out exactly how the company is navigating some of these resistant forces ahead of it at this point. It's an unusual place for Apple. I mean, they've had such an amazing run over the past few years, but now they're struggling. We could see revenue decline yet again this quarter. The expectations are that revenue will be down about 5%. A lot of that is because of the smartphone market, and as you alluded to, China in particular has been a challenging market for them. iPhones, of course, have been the big driver of growth at Apple for many years. In China right now, they're facing some headwinds because of the resurgence of Huawei in particular, but also Xiaomi, another company in the market. So we've seen them lose quite a bit of ground within China to those two companies, especially Huawei, as it's now gotten back into the smartphone market after the U.S. blacklisting that caused some problems for them. Now there's a lot of nationalistic-driven demand for Huawei phones and for Xiaomi phones in particular. One of the things for Apple, though, is that they're struggling within China. They're trying to figure out how they can revive demand there. They've discounted a little bit. They're opening up some new stores too, but it's still been a challenge for them, and we'll see whether they're able to talk about the future and their prospects for reviving. Another couple of key things that people will focus in on are the Vision Pro, this headset that they introduced with much fanfare. They view that as one of their big long-term bets. They hope that that will show some promising results. And also, they want to hear about Apple's AI strategy. We have not heard as much from them as we have from, say, Microsoft or Google at this point. People really want to understand how Apple is going to integrate AI into their products in the future.
Peter, on that, just putting a pin in the AI component, because I think that's really important. A couple of the analyst notes pointing that out, the lack of clarity on that front in terms of that strategy, as you say. Are we expecting details today on the back of the earnings call, or do we have to wait for one of their big conferences, one of their big events, for the details to come through? Where do we stand on this AI strategy?
Well, they certainly will get questions about AI. You're right. Other companies have done more to articulate exactly what their strategy is going to be. Microsoft perhaps has been most aggressive. The CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, is in Asia right now explaining how much they're going to invest in AI data centers around the world, particularly big countries like Indonesia, India, Malaysia, and Japan in particular. Apple has not really gone down that road so far. They'll get questions about their AI strategy, but what you're alluding to is exactly right. They tend to want to have these big events where they can have a complete, well thought out, very detailed strategy as they introduce it. We haven't seen that from Apple yet with AI. Certainly they are working on this. They're working with they're probably talking with many different partners at this point to try to figure out exactly how they're going to incorporate AI into their products in the future, their services in the future. So certainly Tim Cook will get a lot of questions about AI at this call.